Hi, and thanks for taking a few minutes to connect with me on today's Connect video, Tuesday, July 28th. And happy you can join with me. Our theme for the year is Kingdom Builders, where as a church we're trying to focus on building God's kingdom, not just building our church. And my name is Steve Van Kley. I'm the lead pastor here at Canyon del Oro Bible Church. Here in Oro Valley, Arizona, we refer to it as the Canyon. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about recess and rest. Do you remember recess at school when you were growing up? I do remember it was one of my top 3 subjects, right, next to gym and lunch. Since the mid-2000s, though, interesting what's happened in the school space on lots of different levels, but since the mid-2000s, up to 40% of school districts nationally have reduced or eliminated recess. The Wall Street Journal wrote about this in a recent article earlier this month, in fact, just a week and a half ago or so. Now, in other instances, recess has been withheld for kids with poor grades or bad behavior in class, so, you don't get to go to recess kind of thing. It's sometimes, though, the kids who struggle the most with behaving in class are the ones that most need recess. They need to get that energy out, right? But recess is more than just physical exercise or getting rid of pent-up energy from sitting in a classroom for kids. Recess and the relationships that kids build on the playground. They have to navigate the playground relationships, and that's actually good for their social development, for them to build confidence and interpersonal relationship skills. So there's a benefit to playground in addition to the physical benefit of running around and exercising. All of this recent stuff and some recent studies have caused the American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP, has issued an updated policy statement calling for a return to more play, a return to recess. So it's just interesting that that's happening in the public school space. But this video is not about the return of recess for kids in school or the move toward returning recess. The benefits of recess are just as valid for adults, not just for kids. And I don't mean taking a break and going out and playing in the backyard. What's your recess? What's your break from the routine of life? In Psalm 46, verse 10, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." You see, each of us needs to stop, to be still, to take a break from our normal work and activity, to be still, which is something we're not very good at all, right? I know I'm not very good at it. In that time of stillness, though, we should reflect on the person and the nature of God, right? Be still, he says, and know that I am God. So it's a reflection on the nature and the person of God. We live in such a hectic, fast-paced society, and we become very accustomed to this fast pace. So accustomed, in fact, that we have a hard time slowing down. We have a hard time unplugging and being still and reflecting or just thinking. It's hard for us to be quiet and just listen to the Spirit of God. But this time of quiet and being still is really important. In Psalm 23, a very well-known psalm, right? "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." It's a lot about being still there, about slowing down, right? Life is so frantic, and this certainly adds to the excitement of life, living a fast-paced life. Everything is very intense, and everything is running at a very high RPM in our daily life. But the problem is we're not really created to live at that high RPM speed all the time. That's why one of the commands God gave us was about rest, right? Exodus 20, one of the commandments, verse 8, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Now, God did not get tired. He wasn't exhausted from the work of creation. He was setting an example for us on resting, ceasing to work on that seventh day. He was establishing the rhythm for our life, the rhythm that we should follow in our life. In a blog by James Emery White, he writes this: the word Sabbath means to cease, to stop, to quit, to rest. The key is to make the day holy, something different, set apart and unique, a day unlike anything else. Something that is not like other things, or in this case, that is not like other times, which means during this time, don't hurry, don't work, don't labor. Instead, let God flow into you every possible way. So let me ask you, do you have a time each week to just stop, to rest? A time where you just commit that time to the Lord, to think and pray and to listen for the voice of God. I do want to warn you that if you've never done this before, it will seem really weird. It'll be uncomfortable. You'll have this feeling of a great waste of time. But I want you to know it's not a waste of time. But we're so conditioned to live at a high RPM that being still is very counter to our soul almost at this point. You have to work through the awkwardness of stillness, and you'll eventually start to crave that stillness. You'll eventually look forward to that time of the week where you can be still, right? We talked on Sunday about Christians who are religious, but their faith, the truth of the Bible, does not change how they live each day of their life. Having a recess, if you will, from the normal rhythm of your life, from the hectic pace of life, applying the principle of Sabbath to your life can bring such a blessing to your soul. And it can help you start living out your faith, in fact. Not just attending church and adding religion to an already busy, full schedule. What could a Sabbath look like in your life? What does this look like today? Well, one author describes this description of Sabbath. Eat food you love to eat. Listen to music that moves your soul. Play a sport that stretches and challenges you. Read books that refresh your spirit. Wear clothes that make you happy. Surround yourself with beauty. And as you do these things, here's the key though, give thanks to God for his wonderful goodness. Whatever you do, whether you follow those things or whether, because that's not a lot of stillness in that description, but it's a different pace. It's doing something different than the other 6 days. And that's the point. Be still and know that I'm God. God gave us a command about Sabbath, and it's a principle that carries over into the New Testament time. And it's really important for each of us to be able to step back, set apart time to rest and to focus on God. And that's a healthy rhythm that will pay big benefits throughout our life. Here's a couple articles I used in prep for this video. You can check these things out a little bit more. Thanks for taking a few minutes to connect with me today. I hope you can join us this coming Sunday as we continue our series, Retro Gospel, which is a walk through the book of Galatians. This coming Sunday is the 13th sermon of 14, and we're starting chapter 6 this coming Sunday. Service times are at 9:15 or 11 o'clock, so I hope you can join us. We'd love to have you with us in person, but if you can't be here in person, we do have a live stream that is a great opportunity, and they do a great job with our live stream. To watch on the live, to join us for worship on the live stream, you can do a couple things. Either go straight to our website on Sunday morning. There's a link there. You can click on that link. Or just go straight to our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, look up Canyon Del Oro Bible Church, click on our logo, subscribe, and then join us via the live stream. Thanks again for watching. I pray and hope you have a great week and that you're a blessing to everyone you meet. Bye-bye.